哦，这个你呀，10分钟开始吧。
Okay, we can start now since we have members from both the Chinese community and the members from Romanian community. So I'm to make the brief introduction in both Chinese and English at the beginning, and then we give the floor to Madam Roxana. Okay. 为了促进文化交流以及知识、经验和智慧的传承，西岛华人文化体育中心策划和组织了多元文化角活动。该活动每月邀请一位主题发言人，通过 Zoom 会议向大家介绍知识、技能、经验以及人生智慧。今天是这一系列讲座的第一讲，我们请到了 Roxana 女士来给我们介绍罗马尼亚传统衬衫的刺绣。Madame Roxana 在西岛工作，她是项目经理，主要致力于扶贫和促进移民的社会融入。To promote cultural exchanges and the inheritance of knowledge and wisdom, the West Island Chinese Community Center of Montreal has planned and organized the event named Multicultural Corner. The event invites a keynote speaker every month to introduce knowledge, skills, experience, and the life wisdom via Zoom meetings. Today, the first of the series, we invited Ms. Roxana Stolaru-Ionescu to introduce to us the embroidery of traditional Romanian blouses. Madame Roxana works in the West Island. She is the project manager, focusing on poverty reduction and the social inclusion. Madam Roxana, the floor is yours. We're ready to listen to you about Romanian embroidery as well as your project on poverty reduction and the social inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shufan. I'm really honored to be here this evening and to talk about one of my passions, that is embroidering Romanian blouses, but not only that, but preserving traditions generally, and the importance of preserving traditions, especially for people of immigrant origin like us. So without further ado, let's see, I will share the screen and you let me know if you can see it.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going to send the bilingual presentation to the WeChat, the chat box of the meeting. And if you need some help in translation, I mean the members from the Chinese community, you can read the PowerPoint, translated into Chinese. It's a bilingual one. So, Madame Roxana,
yeah,
please continue. I'm sorry.
Okay. No problem. And so I divided the presentation. I will make a brief introduction about traditions and then talk a little bit about the importance of keeping traditions. Then about what is a Romanian blouse, short history of the Romanian blouse, symbols that we find on them, where we are today with embroidering, and then I'll talk briefly about one of my blouses that I embroidered. So far, I have 10 that I made within the past 4 years, and I'm still working on 2 of them. And then the importance of giving this legacy to future generations. Let's see, I think I went to too much. Oops. There you go. So when we are living in a community, and we live authentically, we strive. I think I don't know if you see the whole, I think you see it better now. Anyway, I didn't see
Yes.
the whole
Yeah, that's better
writing.
now.
Now it's
I think
good.
it's better. Okay.
Yes.
So when we feel a strong sense of belonging and live authentically, we strive. That's when we are open to learning, sharing, and helping others as well. And when we look at integration and inclusion, because as Shufan was mentioning earlier, this is part of my work, of people of immigrant origin, we commonly regard it as a primarily matter of concern for the receiving society, in our case, Canada. And we generally disregard the role of the sending society, the country that people are coming from. But however, people of immigrant origin belong to two places. Firstly, they belong to where they come from, and secondly, they belong to where they now live. While integration takes place in the latter, like in Canada, they still maintain a variety of links with the former. And new means of communication facilitating contact between them and their homes, globalization bringing greater cultural diversity to host countries, and nation building in source countries, seeing expatriate nationals as a strategic resource, have all transformed the way people of immigrant origin interact with their home country. So by continuing to practice their own culture, immigrants not only stay in touch with their homeland, but also add diversity to the new nation. Most ethnic cultures thrive off family togetherness and gatherings to trade stories of culture and celebrate pride of their homeland, what we are doing today. Food and the way it is made and consumed are very integral and wonderful parts of cultural traditions. We all know when we have gatherings, either around, I don't know, in holidays times or family gatherings, we are all very proud to prepare something that's really traditional. And not only food, but then handmade crafts is another important tradition kept by generations. And when moving between cultures and countries, it can be struggle within itself, but sustaining traditions and cultural practices in our families is what empowers us as individuals and shines on the wonderful aspects of being able to celebrate within two worlds. So I will talk briefly what is a Romanian blouse. So I don't know if you heard about it or you know what it is. It's actually, it's a peasant shirt that has been worn by Romanian women for thousands of years, it's believed. And it's embroidered, everything is handmade. And they have ornaments which are arranged around the chest, sleeves, and shoulders, and also around the neck. And they have one, two, or more colors. They have geometric, floral, zoomorphic, and anthropomorphic patterns, which they all have meanings. The symbols are used to protect the person that is wearing the blouse. And there are differences depending on the main bigger geographic regions of Romania, like Moldova, Muntenia, Transylvania, and Dobroja. And there are more specific differences also within the large regions. And the differences are in terms of the fabric, which usually is linen, hemp, and cotton. And it used to be, even that was produced, like the hemp one was woven by the women. Others were, of course, like the cotton is not produced in Romania and it was bought, the fabric. And so besides the differences in terms of fabric, there are differences used between the threads that are used, mostly silk, wool, and cotton again, the colors, and the patterns. And there is also a distinction between everyday shirt, the one that is used while working, And then the ones that are on special occasions where you will see more embroidery. The threads can be also used like silver or golden threads. You'll with sequins, and it's more shinier if you want. It's more adorned also. And you have here in a picture on the left-hand side a typical Romanian blouse. You'll see how the cut, which is very simple. It's actually made of different rectangles. Even the sleeves and the front and the back are rectangles. And then the sleeves can be either loose, as you will see in the upper part, or it can be attached down or attached a little bit higher, so it makes the little flory thing. Okay, if we look at history, as I was saying, according to some researchers, the Romanian blouse was worn by women in geographic region of Romania, even 6,000 or 7,000 years ago. Simple peasant women succeed in reaching high artistic heights in their efforts to become the most beautiful or to stand out in the most unique and intricate design. It was a pride to have the most beautiful in your village, or to show your ability to embroider and to use certain threads and the colors and so on. But it really was starting to get its recognition in the 19th century, when Queen Elizabeth of Romania loved the fashion of the traditional Romanian costume and brought it to the royal court. Because until then, the nobility dressed only from abroad and considered it to be only worn by the peasants. But she and Queen Mary would go on with this by combining it with new fashions. And she was fascinated by the traditional costume and encouraged its use and mastery. And she supported the publishing of different albums featuring the embroidery of Romanian blouses and the models and patterns from different regions of the country. As I was mentioning before, Queen Mary, so following in the footsteps of Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mary encouraged the wear of the Romanian traditional. You have her, so above here you have Queen Elizabeth wearing a Romanian traditional costume. And then here you have Queen Mary with her older daughter also wearing Romanian blouses and Romanian traditional costume. So she encouraged the wear of the Romanian traditional costume as a sign of love and respect. Queen Mary proudly wore the Romanian traditional costume. She was an inspiration for promoting history, traditional art, and culture. She drew the world's attention to the beautiful Romanian fall costume by writing about them and also wearing them. As both princess and queen, Maria of Romania often chose embroidered peasant clothing as her daytime attire. Although at the beginning it seemed a bit odd for the Romanian nobility to see the royal family wearing peasant clothes, soon the entire court started wearing folk costumes. And with the publishing of the albums that were featuring the different, and you have here in the photos, two of the most famous albums that present different patterns of Romanian blouses. So these albums are used even nowadays to embroider more blouses, and they are considered as guides that follows the customs of different regions. And actually currently there is an exhibition that's taking place I think for 4 months in one of the cities in Romania. There is a group of women that are trying to embroider all the patterns that are in these two albums. So far, I think they were made I think 140 blouses. I also contributed with 2 of mine to this exhibition. In 2 years, there's going to be another exhibition, and we hope that by then all the patterns of these albums are going to be embroidered in new blouses by like women nowadays. It is considered that the Romanian traditional blouses represent a standard of beauty that has a communication language of ancient traditions, a living testimony of mass creation process, and in some region, both the cut and the fabric quality used to be related to the wealth or prestige of the family of the person who wore it. And regardless of the financial status, along with age, there is a general tendency to simplify patterns or ornaments, peasant clothes becoming more sober. And as I was saying, this is an example of different symbols and signs that are embroidered and that you can find on the Romanian blouses. And it is, as I was saying, considered that they would give them powers to protect them. The patterns and symbols sewn on the white fabric have different meanings depending on the geographic region. For instance, a recurrent pattern is the spiral, symbolizing the evolution of life. And I can read for you from one of the books that was recently published on it. For example, the bird. In general, the bird is a symbol of connection between the worldly life and the eternal life after death, being attributed the role of intermediary between the humans and the gods, a symbol of the spirit, a flight towards the height. The bird is a messenger that brings good news. It is a messenger of our longing to exceed the absolute values for surpassing ourselves, an emblem of liberty and of the limitless human happiness. The bird is also a symbol of free-minded juvenescence. Then we have a column. The column is one of the primordial symbols in the traditional arts, being one of the first carved symbols that lasted for over 10 millennia in the culture of present Romania. And through its verticality, the column symbolizes the connection between terrestrial life and cosmic forces, an eternal and adamant connection. Another one is the comb, being an object of practical use found in every household. The motive of the comb appears frequently, especially on rugs, but not only. According to popular beliefs, the comb teeth are the rays of the celestial light that connect to human beings through the vertex. And so on. We have the cross, the diamond, we have the eye, the flower bud, and many, the lodestar, hands on the hips, nut meat, the ram's horns, shepherd's crook, roundabout, the spike, and the sun. So many symbols that, as I was saying, women tended to embroider on the blouses to ask the gods to protect them through that. Okay, so if we continue about what's going on nowadays, there is an association which is called Signs, Semne cu Sute, that's in Romania, which is a movement that it has approximately 44,000 members of mostly women, but not only, of generally Romanians living around the world that created a group, and they get actively involved in keeping Romanian textile heritage alive. Are common people that are taking their needles and prove their true love through meticulous hard work. And we believe that Romanian embroidery is not just about aesthetics and skill. The Romanian blouses are a call to action against wasteful production and consumption practices that pollute and abuse human rights. And that's because we try to use them in a mindful way and try to use materials also that are produced, as I was saying, mindfully. And we try to preserve the heritage that we received, taking into account the role of the environment and promoting slow fashion and sustainable use of materials. And I had a chance to participate in one of the special exhibition, an exhibition for a cause. And you see in the photo there my contribution. There was an exhibition that took place in Bucharest, the capital of Romania, at the Museum of the Romanian Peasant. There were 20 blouses that were exhibited from Romanian women. As I live in Canada, others were from other places around the world, of course, mostly from Romania. And we try to raise awareness against pollution and to raise awareness for people to show the importance of the pollinators. So we try to use only materials that are, as I was saying, sustainable. So this, my blouse is embroidered on hemp with, it's actually the upper part of the sleeve is woven with hemp and wool. And I also use some silk. And as you see, one side is colorful and is very happy, and the other one is more distracted. So to show what would happen if like pollinators will disappear, our colorful and vivid world is going to be transformed into a dark black one. So that's one of the things that we are doing. And then also Romania and Moldova, they applied to UNESCO, the United Nations Heritage Education and Heritage Organization. So to include the Romanian blouse with a special sleeve in the in UNESCO protection. I have a video right now that I would like to show you about this exhibition, if that's okay. It's a video that, because I was not there, but my kids visited Romania this summer and they went to see the exhibition. So my daughter shot a little bit from the exhibition. So, and with the shots and the photos that I had, I made a short video.
Sure,
So,
we'd like to watch the video.
Okay.
Thank you.
So let's see.
Mm-hmm.
I'll stop sharing this and I'll, let's see. I'll look for the video. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, I found it. Okay. So I'll share with you, let's see, also the sound. Let me know if you see it. Yeah, okay. So this is the exhibition. And they are all different blouses, and most of them had the same idea to divide it in two. This is my manifest shirt. And everyone had, as you can see, yeah, it's the our explanation what was the concept, the design concept behind it. And of course, that's my mom with my daughter. That's my son with my mom. That's both my parents. And that's a close-up of the embroidery. It's honeycomb on the colorful side, that's full of honey, and the other one is empty. There are only some remains of the honeycomb. Okay, so let's continue my presentation. I'll share again. Okay. Yes, you saw my picture that you used for my for the poster, and in that one I was wearing which I call lavender Romanian blouse, because the colors and the design, it looks a lot like the lavender flower. And what you see on the on the right hand side, it's the pattern that is used. In the middle is the sleeve. Always the sleeves are the ones that are more embroidered, because people used to wear sleeveless shirts, coats on top of the blouses, so that the sleeves you will still see them even in winter, or if it's in colder times. So those are the most that are covered with most embroidery. And then depending on the region, you would see on the chest, and then I was saying also around the neck, and very little on the back, because that's what's the least seen. So the main part of the pattern that you see here in the middle, the horizontal part, and then the little lavender flowers, that's the sleeve. And you see it in my photo also. That's the sleeve. And then on one side is what's on the chest, and then the small little things are on the back. And I wanted to share with you, I kept a blog, and I kept, I don't know, that was, I don't know, I don't remember exactly. I think it was my fourth or my fifth blouse, but it's one of the blouses that I liked the most and I enjoyed the most. I think it's the color and the lavender. And then I wrote a little bit about it. It's mostly in Romanian, but I can share you the blog, and I can share you the process of making it. That was my intention. So let me see. Again, I'll move on, and let's see. I'll share with you right away. Okay. So as you can see, this is a photo summary of my handmade lavender Romanian blouse that I worked on for 5 months during January and June 2022. The embroidery was made with silk alpaca yarn, which is a mix of alpaca and silk, and another metallic copper braided yarn on cotton, and it was a mix fabric, mix between cotton and hemp. And yeah, this is, the story is only in Romanian, but I'll tell you. So you see how I started from the um, the album with only showing the design, let's say, and this is the usually that's how you start, because most of the embroidery is on the sleeve. This is where you start working, and it's the upper part which is called altița. So you have the upper part, as you can see. That's what I was doing, and I started with a deeper purple, and then I realized I added a lighter one, as you can see, and I combined them to give a better effect. And here I show the how I chose the metallic thread that I used, trying to usually do trials, and you see which one works the best. And that was the inspiration for the colors that I use. You see the copper and the lavender that I have in my garden, actually. Yeah, so that's how I started. You see here working on the sleeve, the upper part of the sleeve, and then the work on the with the metallic thread. And this is, you see the result, the combination of working with the darker and lighter colors. And that's the working on the second sleeve. And then I added a sequence in between so that it has more effect. And that's how the sleeve is. And that's how much thread I used, the metallic thread, how many bobbins I used. And this is one of my sculptures, because I also like, I sculpt. And during that time, I did a lady that was embroidering. And that is my sculpture. And this is, you see the front, which is less, only 2 rivers, we call them. I could have added another one, but yeah. And you see also the work that's around the neck. And that's the final result. And there will be more photos of it with the inspiration and me wearing it. Yeah, and the photo. So yeah, let's go back to the presentation and move on to what I say is the biggest challenge and one of the most important tasks that we have, and that is the legacy for future generations. Because we received this gift from our foremothers, for all the women that preserved this and that wore these blouses, and that had the idea to, you see, from the queen and the ladies working there, they took the time to put them into different books and albums. So now it's our job to pass it on. So you have here, it's my daughter. I made that blouse. It's a simpler blouse. This is an example of let's say a working blouse, which has less embroidery, that would be easily could be worn during the normal tasks done by any of us. So my job now is to try to convince her and to show, I mean, she knows it and she would like at some point, she's only 15, but back in time at 15, you do all this. So yeah, I say that we are responsible for involving the young generation, so that to make sure that our legacy is inherited, that we inherit from our foremothers, and it's passed on to future generation, and that they should continue this the practice of this art. And yeah, so I think that's this is how I will end this presentation. You have here all the blouses that I have embroidered, as I was saying, I started doing it. So I inherited one costume from my grandmother, and I always admired it, but in my head I was like, I will never be able to do this because of all the intricate details and because I didn't have the knowledge. And then I have a friend who started making one, and I was meeting with her and I would see her work on it, and I would tell her, oh, I will not be able to do it because I don't see that well. And she says, yeah, but you know, you can buy a lamp with a magnifying glass and you can still work. Yeah, but I was like, oh, but I cannot find the fabric here, the special fabric or so on. And she said, yeah, but there is this website in Romania and they ship it and you can order it and so on. So slowly, she convinced me that I can do it. And I started it 4 years ago, and this is the result of my work. You see, I made one also for my son, a straight, what we call a straight shirt. I also made one for me, a straight shirt. They are less common. They're mostly made for men. So for women, it's mostly used like we call it gathered around the neck, Romanian blouse. Yeah, so I added also a lot of literature and readings that if you're interested, you can do, or you can find on YouTube nowadays. You can find a lot of tutorials, and I had a chance to discover this group, as I was saying, on Facebook, which is Son Science, Semne cu Sute, that's in Romanian. Where you can find all the information that you need, and you can ask questions and they can guide you. And yeah, so thank you so much for listening to me. And if you have any questions, you know how to find me. And yeah.
Thank you, Madam Roxana. Thank you very much. And
Thank
yes,
you,
we need
Roxana.
to, yeah, we need to keep our tradition or heritage. But it's a pity that I realized that in China we have a rich culture of in embroidery too. But it's a pity that I cannot do anything.
Don't say
So
that. You should try. You should make small steps, and that's how you can go from there. If you like it, I mean, you can see, maybe you like other stuff, you know, other crafts, other handmade things that, but I personally think that it's important for us to feel grounded and rooted. And
yes.
also, I think it's something that we can give back to the country where we live, you know, even
Yes.
if it's different. I think that's what makes us special, and that's what makes us rich. And I think what you're doing with the multicultural corner is very important. Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
that's how we can share. That's how we can become more open, and we can
Yes.
appreciate the others more.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And I have a question. In the past, when I was in China, the Ministry of Culture in China applied for the recognition from UNESCO to name some of the cultural elements as an intangible cultural heritage, recognized by UNESCO. Does the Romanian, have Romanian government or people applied from UNESCO to recognize the embroidery, the traditional embroidery, as one of the intangible cultural heritage?
Yes, not the embroidery as such, but the Romanian blouse with a detachable upper part, because that's something that's really specific to the Romanian shirts. Not all of them are like that, but they applied to for this because it's something that's really unique to the Romanian blouses. So Romania together with Moldova, because they are also they used to be part of Romania, so they have the same type of shirt. That's for this they applied. Yes.
Yes, if it is recognized by UNESCO, maybe they can give some help to protect, to reserve the cultural heritage.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
That's why. Yeah. That's why I was really happy, and that's why I participated to the exhibition with the ones protecting the bees and generally the pollinators, because I saw that was a very unique way to show, and try to reduce mass production and to put a focus on sustainable fashion and slow fashion.
Yes, in the past, or rhythm, the pace or tempo has become too fast.
Yeah. And
So,
I recognize myself as well. I used to buy too much, so now I'm trying to think more and to be more mindful when I buy something, to really see if I really need it, if it's something that's gonna last, it's something that I'm really gonna wear. And and as I was saying, I have a Romanian costume that I inherited from my grandmother, that she got it from one of her aunts. So it's more than 100 years old, and it's still in good shape. And it wasn't like preserved, I don't know, it wasn't put in a museum and taken care of it in special conditions, So if that lasted, that means that my blouses, or the ones that made by others, should last as well.
Yes, very special. Thank you.
And you said that you wanted me to tell you a little bit also about the work that I do.
Yes, about your project on social inclusion and poverty reduction.
Sure. I can share with you.
How many blouses did you
10.
Roxanne, how many do you have?
I made 10.
10. Oh 10. My goodness.
Yeah. 3 of them are in Romania in museums. As I was saying, one is in this exhibition that for a special cause, and it was shown in Bucharest, and then they try to raise awareness in other places, and they try to, because it's a smaller exhibition, they try to have it exhibited also in Brussels at the European Union or at the European Parliament in Luxembourg. We'll see. And the other 2 are part of a larger exhibition, the one that is trying to use all the patterns from those 2 albums that I shared with you. That's going to be probably, right now, I think there are 120 or 140 made, but in total, it's going to be more than 200. So
yeah,
there I made 2 blouses, and I pledged to do 2 more within 2 years. Hopefully I'll be able to do that. Yeah. And besides that, I have brought some of them to show you. This is the one that I made for my daughter. Is the one that has less embroidery. This is on hemp, and it's something that you can use easily every day. So it's not something that is too like the lavender one is. It has a lot of like metallic thread. Probably that one you will not use every day. I have one that I made on linen. This is the only one that I made on linen. This is a straight shirt, you see.
Oh, nice.
And this one has also some metallic thread and sequins. But it doesn't have too much embroidery, so it can also be used like a daily blouse. So it's not too heavy. And you see this
And,
one doesn't have
and,
embroidery on the sleeves.
yeah, Roxana, you talk about a next exhibition. Maybe will be in 2 years.
Yes.
Where will be this exhibition? In Romanian also?
Yes, yes, it's in Romania. Like this year was in Sibiu. There was
Yeah, I
another,
saw, yeah.
they had a smaller exhibition, I think 2 years ago, and that was in Ploiești, in a smaller town.
Ploiești.
So we'll see, maybe in 2 years it's gonna be in a larger city, maybe in Bucharest, I don't know, or given that
They work for that, yeah.
it has
Do you
more
have any hope to have this exhibition at Montreal?
I told them that I want especially the one for the special cause I offered, and I said that I'm gonna find a place if if it's gonna be like around the world. So
Yeah.
far, the first step after Bucharest, they said that they wanted to organize it in Brussels. So after it's done in Brussels and they raise awareness there, I am ready to organize it and find a place
To make a lobby, yeah, put me
yeah.
on the list
I
if
will
you
do
need
that.
two hands more for that. We're gonna
Gladly.
make a lobby for that. We need
Yes.
to have it here, yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's my pleasure, of course. It's
Yeah.
our
And then the
history,
big
our
one,
roots.
because there are so many blouses, it would be wonderful to have it exhibited in other places, but because there are so many blouses, it would be more difficult.
Yeah.
I think I don't know, because to travel 200 blouses, that's a lot. And imagine, I mean, the value of, because each blouse, it's thousands of dollars in value. Try to probably insure it and have it, maybe if it's invited in a special museum, maybe in the Metropolitan Museum in New York, or even here, I don't know, Musée des Beaux-Arts or something. I think it has to be like the large one. It has to be organized at a different scale. I think. But yes, I would gladly work for that. I would love it to raise awareness and to have more and more people learn about the Romanian blouses.
Do you have an idea when you start the next blouse?
Oh, I'm working already.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I have one started for the exhibition in 2 years. I am working on the upper parts, but meanwhile I stopped working on that one, and then I started making a straight shirt for my husband, because he turned 50 this year. And I said, even though he turned 50 in January, but I told myself that I would make a blouse for him as a 50 years old. So by January, I have to finish it before he turns 51.
Yeah, of course. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Even
it's a little
you
bit
have a
less
passion.
work. It's a little bit less for the male blouse, so the blouses for men, because they have less embroidery, and the cut is straight, but it's still a work. But I try to do every night, like to sit down and work at least, I don't know, if I can, half an hour or an hour, and I try to do it every day. Of course, in summertime is less more less productive, because it's so nice outside and so on, so you want to do other activities. And that's what that's how it used to be, like in older times, you know, women, when they will finish like the summer and the autumn activities, all the agricultural and whatever household activities, they will start working it probably in November and finish it by Easter in March or April. So this is how long it's
the winter time
was taking them to make one. And it's the same. I mean, yeah, you can work more, but you have your primary job, and then of course it's
Yeah, you know how I say, usually, if you want to do it, do it. You know, ask find a good reason to not do it. But
Exactly.
if you
You
really,
can
really
always
want
find
to do
a good
it,
reason not to do it, but it's best
yeah,
if you do it.
yeah, but it's not easy. I know, you know. By example, myself, I don't have a courage to starting,
If you
but
need the courage,
maybe
I
with
can give you courage. We can meet
yeah,
and I
yeah,
can
maybe I can
give you
ask
the
you.
courage.
You can be my mentor, you know,
I would
just
love
for
to do that
starting
because
something.
that's how I started it also, you know, also telling myself that I'm not able to do it. But then slowly my friend was like finding solution to all my no's. And then
Yeah.
I said, no, I should do it. And now she's like, she says she made one or two and I made 10 and she's like, oh, you know, so, but yeah.
Yeah,
So
you had
no,
a good teacher, you know.
yes. And I had
Yeah,
not only a teacher, but a mentor, as you said. I think that's what's important. Somebody to keep you motivated. And once you see the small results, then you can
yeah,
motivate yourself as well.
yeah, nice. I think about. And the last question about material, do you buy it from Romania?
Yeah,
Everything?
yeah.
You didn't
Not
try it here?
everything, not everything. But
Oh, okay. So you
I
find in Canada.
I buy like the fabric. I think that's really important, and that's what I
Okay.
buy from Romania because the lady that is in charge with Semne Cusute, she developed fabrics that are made especially for the
Special for
blouse,
that.
and they
Yeah.
are really good. I mean, I worked on other fabrics, and I can see the difference. And it's important to use the right materials. So
Yeah.
that I
Okay.
definitely recommend to buy it from her. Threads, you can find silk and cotton and wool in other places as well. So that's not so relevant, I would say. But
Okay.
fabric is important to buy from her. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I will think about because you know the winter time it's so long that
Exactly. It's already dark.
maybe
Like a month ago would be still light outside. Now,
exactly.
then
Look,
it's now
it's
it's
yeah,
all black. Yes.
yeah. I will think about.
Great.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah. Oh, that's my pleasure.
Okay, so I will share with you the brief presentation that I have made for the project that I coordinate, which is called Together for a More Inclusive Southern West Island. It's a project that's financed by the Ministry of Immigration and Francization and Integration, MIFI. And it's going to last until, so 2 more years, until August 2024. And the main purpose is to improve the participation of people of immigrant origin and ethnocultural minorities in the collective life of the community in the Southern West Island. And there are 3 main objectives. First one is to encourage people of immigrant origin and ethnocultural minorities to participate fully in the community life, with a particular focus on decision-making bodies and democratic life. The second one is to create the conditions and the tools aimed at increasing their participation and reducing the obstacles by supporting the efforts of the organizations like your organization, because if you are wishing to increase the citizen participation in your activities. And the last one is to look on the long term and to create the sustainability of the project and rewarding. So it's to to put them into contact between the community partners and these target groups to make them work together. And that's why I was asking kindly you to fill in the survey that we have developed, because we are trying to paint the portrait. We'd like to see if members that are a part of the organizations that are serving the target group, so people of immigrant origin and ethnocultural minorities, are using or are participating in the civic life, and what would be the obstacles if there are any. So that's why the survey was developed by our project. And if you want, I can talk about the survey as well. You very kindly helped me to develop it and to translate it in Mandarin. So that was really great. I'll share it. There you go. So yeah, there is information about your age, gender, where exactly do you live in West Island, what's your understanding of English and French, and what's the comfort in speaking English and French, about the mother tongue, if there is more than one, if they belong to any ethnocultural minority, if yes, which one, if you were born in a different country, when did they arrive in Canada, if they live with children, and then about the participation to the community life in West Island, if they are involved with any organization, which kind of organization, and how are they involved, either by volunteering or attending local events, or attending the church, or making donations, attending municipal meetings, or others, and if they participate in the decision making in the community, and if yes, how, at the level of the community, the school, faith community, cultural association, municipal organizations, and again, how, by joining a board or joining an association, or activities organized by church or cultural activities. And this is also an important part to tell us a little bit about the obstacles they are facing. Like you see this one, this is a clear example, because I forwarded to Shufan a while ago the survey, and then she came back to me and she told me that some people wanted to have it translated so that they can understand. So language barriers, it's an important obstacle. Then fear, because they don't want to be involved, lack of encouragement, lack of knowledge, people might not know about that. Then lack of childcare, because especially families with kids, they cannot leave the kids alone at home if they need to attend a special meeting. I mean, nowadays with Zoom is easier, but still. Travel expenses. And then again, what can be done, in their opinion, by the organizations to use language and communication that are easily understood, that is inclusive, to support and accompany people in their participation, because there will be maybe people that with special needs that they need special support, and so on. So make meeting accessible, organize maybe joint transportation for people if there is an in-person meeting. So yeah, I would really appreciate if you can share it with your members, and if I can get more responses to the survey, so I can better understand what is the situation. I would really appreciate it.
Yes, I'm going to set the link to our members again, the link
so
to the
much.
bilingual survey. And I have a question, Madam Roxana.
Yes.
After the survey, what will be the follow-up? Are you going to, I mean, after the survey, after your analysis of the result of the survey, I mean the answers of the survey, what you're going to do?
as I was saying, we will paint a portrait. So we'll analyze the answers and we'll see if people are considering maybe what we listed as obstacles. Maybe people are not seeing that, or they will tell us, well, number one obstacle is the language, so the lack of translation in their language. So we'll make sure that to let know all the organizations that are working with people of immigrant origin and non-cultural minorities, these are the obstacles. That's why people are not so involved with decision making or in the civic life. So try to see if they can improve. Maybe they'll need to, I don't know, translate their posters in another language so that they will have more participation for a different community and so on. You see, so we are also trying to develop a kind of a toolbox that can be used by different organizations when they are organizing different events or activities that are especially for the target groups. So to make sure that they are, so as I said, a checklist to make sure that they are covering all the points. And we'll see if the result would be the increase of participation. So that's what are the next steps.
Well,
and we are
thank you.
also developing a community of best practice. That means that we will invite you as well to be part of it. And we'll meet, we'll see if in presence or online, we'll see which is best. And share our concerns. I mean, the organizations that are trying to improve the participation of their members, and then to have a recognition program. There are the documents that I shared with you when I sent the survey, because we would like to learn from organizations that are successful and that they have improved, to share it with the rest of the community.
Thank you.
And we try to have this as a long term. So even when the project is finished, this community of best practice is still in place, and people still meet and exchange and talk about their practices and talk about what they are doing to improve the civic participation.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome.
Thank you. And do we have any questions? 我们有问题要问 Madame Roxana 吗？今天 Madame Roxana 给我们一个是介绍了罗马尼亚的刺绣，再有一个呢，也是介绍了她现在正在工作的一个项目，就是促进社会融入，减少贫困现象，是这样一个事情。他做的一个 survey， 一个 questionnaire， 我上周把它翻译成了汉语。这样的话呢，回头我会把这个链接发到我们群里边。然后呢，如果感兴趣，我们可以做一下这个问卷，来看一下是什么因素影响我们参与到社会活动当中来的。
If you have any questions even afterwards, maybe you can direct them to Shufan and she can send them to me. If not, I think I put in the presentation my email, and you can always contact me if you have any other questions. And I would love to share my experience, not only about the Romanian blouses but generally traditions. And as I was saying, they're keeping traditions even in a new country. And yeah, so thank you so much for the opportunity to share my hobby and my
passion
exactly with you all. And
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful culture. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you.
Be in
We'll
touch.
keep in touch. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. We keep in touch.
Yes.
Bye. If you have
Bye-bye.
any questions, you can write to me and then I can forward your question to Madam Roxana.
Exactly.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you all.
Bye-bye.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.